JINHSI is the new Spectro main DPS added in patch 1.1 of Wuthering Waves. And I've seen all the numbers being crunched by our Theory Crafter bros. So, hi guys, I'm Sunny, and this is the F2P guide for casuals by a casual. Let's jump right in. So first off, how does she work? The short version is that JINHSI is all about getting this bar fully stacked, the bar above her HP, fully stacked to herself and her teammates, and then going into the air, using your skill enough times to do the Dragon Laser nuke, as I like to call it. Slightly longer version is that every time a teammate does damage, it gives JINHSI 1 stack of incandescence, yes, the bar, per 3 seconds, her teammate who does damage. Now this can go faster if you do the outro skill on JINHSI first, then it becomes once every second. On top of that, you can get 2 stacks every second if the damage done is through a teammate's coordinated attack. Think about like maybe Yinlin or Mortifi. Now keep that in mind as we move on to her skill. There's basically 4 skills. I'll call them skill 1, 2, 3, and 4. Skill 1 is basically a dash with an attack, all right? It's very simple, just dash and attack. Now, if you do 4 auto attacks before you do the skill, here's what happens. So I'll do 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now my skill changes, I do a bit of an AoE damage, and I go up in the air. And you can see the icon has changed as well. Now, this lets you do another skill, this is skill 3 right away, which is a dash again, and an attack coming up from the ground. And lastly, if you do the full combo, so you do 1, 2, 3, and 4, go up in the air, another 1, 2, 3, and 4, that's when you go skill 4, that's the Dragon Laser nuke. Simple, right? Alright, I'll talk more about this when I get to the team section. So moving on, what are her pros and some cons? Now the pros are very simple in my opinion. Massive damage. I mean, you can't argue with numbers, am I right? She's gonna be a top tier DPS for a long time, you know, especially for casual noobs like me. All we care about is just doing damage, right? Now cons are that optimally, you need teammates that do coordinated attacks, and you cannot mess up your rotations. Otherwise, the damage looks like this. Subscribe for a damage buff, by the way. Right, so what are some good teams for her? Now, the most popular, a team with the highest damage is JINHSI, Yinlin, and Verino. And this is my current favorite team as well. Now, Yinlin is really good because her punishment marks let JINHSI get stacked super quickly while she's off field. And Verino, well, she's Verino. I don't think I need to explain how she's the best healer and buffer in-game right now. I'll make a guide specifically for her later on. Now, a 4-star option for Yinlin is Mortify. He does pretty substantial damage himself. Same thing as Yinlin, just replacing the 5-star with a 4-star. Though obviously his damage is a bit less than Yinlin. Now Baiji could also be a replacement for Verino because she's a great healer, although you do lose those buffs that Verino provides. Now lastly, there's a team that got everyone hot and bothered, and that is JINHSI with Yuanwu and Taochi. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Now the reason why this is so good is because Yuanwu can basically just be built straight defense for all his echoes across the board, and then his AoE Electro Field passively attacks and generates stacks for JINHSI. That's why he's good. And Taochi is because she's one of the very few quick and easy sources of skill damage bonus that we have in the game. Now personally, I haven't tried this. As you can see, my Taochi and Yuanwu are still level 1. Now moving on. So here's my patch 1.1 tier list of the best JINHSI teammates. Now keep in mind, this is a heavy key biased tier list since I'm a casual who just likes, you know, playing like a casual. I don't spend money on both. One thing to note is Junshin. She's apparently doing some work at the tower, so I'll review that and get back to you about her. Now, how to build JINHSI is quite straightforward. We'll use a 4-3-3-1 Echo setup. This is the most optimal one as far as all the numbers suggest. The 4-cost Echo's main stat should be crit rate, and it should be on the Jui as well, because that's best in slot for JINHSI. As you can see, I got a 5-piece Celestial Light. This is the best set for JINHSI as well. Now, for the 3 costs, you could either go attack and elemental damage, or you could go double attack, or you could go double elemental. The difference between them is about 4%, so I'd go with the best substats. Now, as you can see, mine aren't looking the best. I mean, I've got lucky with the double crit on both of them, but I mean, they could be way better. I mean, look at this. This is double HP, and they're double attack, so this is not optimal in any way. And lastly, the 1-cost Echo should obviously be attack and attack. And now these I got pretty lucky on, not gonna lie. They're all right. Now, lastly, try to hit. So here's the substats stats that you need to focus on in order. So obviously first is crit rate, crit damage. Then you want to go for attack percent. Then you want to go for skill damage percent. That's the resonance liberation damage. And then lastly, you could go with flat attack or liberation damage percent. That's the ult damage. Now try to hit around 30% ER, by the way. You know, this is pretty much so that your ult is there whenever you need it. In terms of her skill levels, make sure you max out her forte circuit first, followed by the skill, followed by the liberation, and then finally intro and outro can be equal. Now, as you can see, I'm way behind on leveling up everything because I just haven't been able to farm these so much. I mean, you can pretty much see I got just 2,000 in credits. So what's worth more as an F2P? Is it the S1 or her signature weapon? I'm gonna be real with you guys right now. I'm gonna say just weapon. See, there's a reason why Kuro Games made weapon banners at 80 PD and guaranteed, and that's simply because her weapon is easily 20 to 30% better than any 4-star weapon. And I'm not kidding, any 4-star weapon is easily 20 to 30% worse than her signature weapon. So instead of a small boost to JINHSI directly through her S1, I recommend getting a weapon since the damage buff is worth so much more. And don't forget, you could use this weapon on others such as Jian or any other upcoming characters. Now, in terms of power level, she's pretty much S tier, no doubt. If you think otherwise, L-Take didn't ask, you know, whatever. In terms of value, now that's different. It depends on what, if you think that she looks cool enough to spend your pulls on her right now, or, you know, you want to wait for Changli. Let me tell you, Changli is 99.9999% not going to deal more damage, so it becomes about which design you like better. See, I like damage, so I went for JINHSI right now. Lastly, let's talk about her future prospects and how she is to play in the overworld. Since her skill cooldown is like 4 seconds, it's really easy and fun to just run around with her in the overworld because you can just keep spamming and dashing. As you can see, I just keep doing this everywhere I go. Apart from that, you can just nuke all the mobs with her ult, so random fights are a breeze for real. So for these reasons, I feel that she's extremely fun to play in the overworld, and I think, you know, personally, I'm very happy with my decision. Now, I wish you all the best of luck in winning your 50-50 or, you know, getting her early. That's it. Bye for now. Thank you. Subscribe.